All right, third graders. Today we're going to be looking at theme. So what's the theme? The theme of a story is the underlying message in the story. Many times people confuse the main idea or the summary of the story with the theme. The main idea is a short summary of the events, while the theme is actually an inference that relates to the underlying message or lesson in a story. The theme is not always directly stated, but it is implied. It's not going to say, Miss McFadden, the theme is blah, 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 blah. It's not going to say that. You're going to have to infer it. The reader must think about the character's experiences and choices to infer the theme of the story. When a reader is attempting to infer the theme, it is helpful to ask, number one, what is the big idea of the story? Number two, what larger message is the author trying to convey? So what is the author trying to get across to us? And number three, what did the author want the reader to understand? What does the author want you to understand? Here are some different themes. I'm not going to read all of them. You can always pause it and you can read through all of them yourself. But some of them say, money does not buy happiness. Saving your money pays off. Hard work is its own reward. Don't judge people before you get to know them. Beauty is not the important thing. Character is measured in many ways. Tell the truth, even when it is difficult. A guilty conscience needs no accuser. Okay, if you want to read the last four, you can go ahead and pause and do so. All right, we are going to try some together. I'm actually going to be reading these to you, and you are welcome to obviously follow along and or read with me. And we are going to be thinking about the theme for this. What is the big idea? What is the author trying to get across? I don't want a new baby brother, whined Kim. Honey, you don't have a choice. He will be here next month, Mom said, rubbing her big belly. Kim couldn't believe that she would have to be around a loud, slobbery baby. Plus, the thought of sharing anything, especially attention from her mom and dad, with a new baby didn't sound fun at all. You will be one of the most important people in his life, Mom exclaimed. He will need you to look out for him and to teach him new things. I guess that's true. I will be showing him a lot of new things. Maybe it won't be that terrible having a little rugrat running around here, Kim replied with a sigh. Just don't expect me to change his diapers. All right, if I have to think about the big idea, I know that she's not necessarily at the very beginning of this passage fond of the idea of having a new sibling. However, towards the end of it, she seems to be okay with it as long as she doesn't have to change those diapers. So I would say that the theme is acceptance. She's accepting the fact that she is going to have a new baby brother. Okay, so if I had to put that into a sentence, I would say feeling important can help people accept change more easily. I'll say that one more time. Feeling important, so that would be Kim, making her feel important, can help people change more easily. Okay, so that would be my sentence for that passage. All right, let's look at the next one. Passage 2. Think about the theme for this one as we are reading it together. Georgia decided to take a sewing class, but felt very frustrated when she couldn't sew a straight line on the first day. This looks so easy, but it's not. Clearly, I'm just terrible at sewing, she complained. Even though she felt frustrated, she continued to go to class week after week. Each week, her sewing instructor helped her. By the last week of class, Georgia finally completed the project all by herself. She created a rectangular pillow for her bed with 4 most perfectly straight lines. I like this passage. Okay, if we think about this, at the very beginning, she was having a tough time, but then towards the end, she was getting it, and she was doing pretty good. So I would say that the theme for this would be hard work. Now, if I had to put that into a complete sentence, I would say hard work pays off. Okay? All right, moving on to the next one. Passage 3, follow along with me as I read it out loud to you. One minute we were goofing around and having fun, and the next thing I knew, Hank's body soared over the top of the patio, and suddenly his life was in danger. With fingers grasped tightly on the railing, he desperately cried for help. I watched his grip slowly slip away and knew that a 40-foot plunge to the ground could be disastrous. Without stopping to consider my own safety, I jumped into action. My heart pounded through my chest and fear pulsed through my veins as I clutched his hands and pulled up as hard as I could. Whew! That was a little thriller, wasn't it? So if I had to think about him, there was something dangerous that was happening, and he kind of had to think quickly and think on his feet. He couldn't take a long time because who knew what was going to happen? So I would say that the big idea for this one would be courage. He had to show a lot of courage. And then if I had to put that in a complete sentence, I would say it takes courage to face dangerous situations. He had to have a lot of courage in order to do everything that he was going to do. And he really had to think before he acted. Okay? All right, let's move right along. This is going to be our last passage that we're going to be working on today. Go ahead and read it with me as I read it out loud to you. Even though Greg had been looking forward to his best friend's party for over a month, he knew his grandma would really love to see him. It's your choice, Greg. Grandma is really sick, but I know you've been very excited about this party, said his mom. Most of his class was planning on going to the party, and he knew it would be so much fun. After some thought, though, Greg knew exactly what he was going to do. It's not like this is the last party that I'll ever be invited to, and Grandma would be so sad if I didn't come, said Greg. Plus, I always like making her smile. I like this passage. He, for me, did the exact thing that he should have. He should go see his grandma. You only have so much time with your grandparents, and you always need to treasure it. So I would say that the big picture or the big idea for this one is family. And then my sentence would be that family comes first. Or choose family first over other things going on in your life. Okay? So let's look at this cupcake. I know that it's kind of hard to see some of the words, but just look at those big words, okay? So remember, theme is the message, moral, or lesson that the author wants you to take away from the story. So that could be cooperation, that could be acceptance, kindness, loyalty, compassion, perseverance, courage, honesty, or good versus evil. And then it says, just as cream, so like the topping on the cupcake, it can be hidden inside a cream-filled cupcake. A theme is hidden in a story. So sometimes cupcakes have filling, and it's saying that the theme is the filling inside. So it's hidden. You can't tell that it was a cream-filled cupcake. So it's kind of a surprise when you bite into it, because you see the frosting on the top, but you don't know that there's something in the center. All right, your task. We actually have two different things to do today, and I think you're going to especially enjoy the first one. The first task is that you are going to be doing a Flipgrid telling me the theme of Fly Away Home. Now, I have included the video once again of the book, of me reading the book, so if you need to replay that, go for it. Make sure that you give me your answer in a complete sentence. I don't want you to say, family, because that's not a sentence. So remember to think about what the author wants you, the reader, to understand from the story. And I would like to know the theme of Fly Away Home in a complete sentence. Otherwise, you will not get the points for doing this task today. Okay? And then your second task is to complete finding the theme worksheet that I am going to post on Google Classroom. Okay, now if you need to pause this in order to remember what to do on Flipgrid, go ahead and do so. All right, enjoy.